Hey, it's Alvin from Priceline Pharmacy, West Brunswick, and we're coming to you live this week, Thursday, the 12th of April, 2018, for this week's Ask Alvin show. I think we're up to episode number 23, and I'm just going to get on with the show. So this is a live Q&A, so you please jump on and ask me any questions that you may have about wellness, pharmacy, healthcare, anything related to your health, and I'll do my very best to answer them for you. So just pop your questions in the comments below and I shall answer them. Just before we start ahead, so this is our weekly Q&A show, and it's my intention to provide as much value as I can to our clients, to our audience, and people out there in Facebook land. Also, be able to just disseminate some of my passions regarding natural health, pharmacy, and why I love being a pharmacist and doing what I do. And it's a great way for me to answer some questions. So this is live, like I mentioned. If you're unable to get to this live Q&A, please, and you're watching a replay, please make sure that you leave your questions in the comments below, and I will answer them next week. Always endeavour to answer all the questions, and we have a great bank of questions because a lot of people watch this show at different times. And yeah, I just slowly work my way through them. And of course, the live ones that come on here. So it's that time where I've got to do my disclaimer. So just want to ensure that everyone understands that the advice I give here is general advice only. So please make sure you contact your healthcare practitioner or your healthcare professional for advice pertaining to you. And if I do happen to mention any dosages, medications, anything like that, please make sure you contact your healthcare professional to ensure that you get the right dosage and the right medication advice for your particular condition. Yeah, cool. So let's get on with the show. I want to just thank the guys down at Marva Media for helping a little bit with lighting. So we're experimenting with a few different things. We'll just see how we go. So the first question today is from Raylene, and she's asking, what's the best way to store my medicines? Surprised we haven't answered this question already. Generally, we recommend that you store medication at room temperature and away from light. A lot of people used to store their medications in the bathroom cupboard. Probably not a good idea because the moisture that's present in the bathroom can sort of affect the stability of medications, especially tablets and capsules. And specifically if your dosage form is in a wafer, certainly the moisture is not a good idea because it disintegrates the wafers, and also could do the same thing to the tablets. So we recommend that you store your medicines out of reach of children in a cupboard where it's dark and it's safe at room temperature. Of course, if you've got medications that need to be stored in the fridge, like insulin and so forth, you need to store them in the fridge. You just need to ensure that your fridge is quite stable, and obviously, it's not too cold because there are some fridges with certain settings as well. And we can accidentally turn it too crisp, and that may affect the medication as well. So just check, depending on the medication that you have, keeping it in the fridge would be the appropriate option. Now there's the question about also eye drops. Many people assume that all eye drops need to be kept in the fridge. That is not the case. It's definitely dependent on which eye drop that you've been prescribed. So please check with your pharmacist or read the instructions on the little label. It will definitely say if that medication needs to be kept in the fridge. Vaccines generally all vaccines need to be kept in the fridge, and you will find that all your medicines dispensed correctly will contain a label 6, which is a refrigerate label on there that needs to go on that medication, which will instruct you where to put it, medicine. So just to reiterate, Raylene, store your medicines at room temperature, away from light, in the cupboard. Hopefully that answers your question. Cool. Next question is from Ted. So Ted's asking, when you mentioned, like I did in the disclaimer, about seeing a healthcare professional for advice pertaining to you. So when should I see a healthcare professional? So yeah, that's a really good question. So most people tend to manage their symptoms themselves and perhaps don't even go and see a pharmacist or a doctor. But I just wanted to, on Ted's question, point out that there are sometimes where it's a really good idea to come and speak to a health professional. And I'm just going to roll out a couple of common scenarios where I would encourage you to seek medical advice, pop in, see your pharmacist or your doctor. And some of these situations would be where you're experiencing persistent pain, persistent pain lasting a couple of days. Definitely if you've got persistent vomiting and diarrhea, for over a day and you're an adult, you should definitely come and just touch base with a pharmacist or a doctor. Certainly for an infant, you'd want to ensure that you touch base with a healthcare professional much sooner. Also, some other instances where I would recommend that you see a healthcare professional if you have blood in your vomit or in your stools, if you're experiencing pain when you're swallowing, if you've got unexplained weight loss, and generally if you're feeling unwell for greater than a few days, you want to make sure that you get that checked out. The ones I've mentioned earlier are probably the top ones where you want to seek medical counsel really quickly within a few days, just to ensure that what you've got isn't too serious, and we can start the treatment protocol straight away. So so Ted, that's what I mean about contacting your healthcare professional in those situations. So hopefully that answers your question. Next question is from Lucy, and Lucy is asking, can I take echinacea while I'm pregnant? The quick answer to that, Lucy, is yes, you can take echinacea while you're pregnant. Echinacea is useful, especially this time of the year, in helping treat cold and flu type symptoms and general feelings of being unwell. Echinacea would be part of the treatment protocol, and it's what we consider category A, so that means it has been used in a large number of pregnant women, and there have been no findings in terms of causing an adverse effect. Of course, in conjunction with echinacea, I'd definitely be recommending some vitamin C and zinc, which is super useful as well in helping fight off cold and flu type symptoms while you're pregnant. You just need to be careful because most cold and flu preparations, the natural ones which contain echinacea, contain other things as well. So you just need to double check with your pharmacist on the formulation before you go ahead and take it, but your pharmacist will be all across it. The other things that you want to do, while I'll take this time, Lucy, while if you're pregnant and you've got a cold and a flu or a virus type thing, is to definitely keep your fluids up, keep your diet on the green leafies and fresh fruit and vegetables, so have that happening really nicely. Definitely be on the vitamin C and the zinc as well, which is super safe to use. Keep the hydration up. You can use some paracetamol as well to help lower any fever or any other discomfort that you may be experiencing, so that's all good as well. But in terms of the echinacea, definitely safe to use, and I would encourage you to do so. So yeah, it works really well. So thanks, Lucy. Hopefully that answers your question. The next question, the last question we've got so far, unless you want to jump on and ask another question, is from Grace, and Grace says, I'm just going to quit smoking, what can I expect? So congratulations, Grace, for making that decision to stop smoking. So what you typically experience when you first begin your smoking cessation, when you start to quit smoking, obviously you'll get the cravings because you're not having that same functionality of nicotine, along with the hand movements and the social situations that you may find yourself in will bring on the craving. And that only lasts for a few days. So all of these symptoms, all these things that you may experience will last a couple of days up to a week. So it's just really important that you manage them, and I'm going to talk through some of the management processes after that. So the first thing you got the cravings, restlessness, irritability. A lot of people have an increase in appetite and weight gain. Some people tend to feel a little bit emotional, and you definitely do get the build-up of phlegm in your lungs, and that's feels kind of a little bit idiotic that you stop smoking, but you're starting to cough up all this phlegm. But it's just your body trying to get rid of all the excess stuff that's sitting out there and clearing everything up. So there are the main symptoms that you may experience, almost like withdrawal type situation you'll find yourself in when you quit smoking. There's a couple of ways, there's heaps of ways we can manage that. And also, I didn't mention stress is a big thing as well, because quite often you're using cigarettes to help alleviate the stress, and it does give you that calming sensation. So I'll talk about that and how we can manage your stress. So the first thing I want to reiterate is to ensure that you've chosen, or you're working with a healthcare professional to choose the right form of nicotine replacement therapy. That's if you are doing that. Pharmacists and doctors can help you do that. And so then we just start looking at how we can manage these individual symptoms. So the underlying cause of the cravings and the restlessness is due to the lack of nicotine, and you can nip a little bit of that on the bud by using nicotine replacement therapy. Managing the stress, so definitely meditation, yoga. B vitamins are really good at helping manage stress while you're going through this phase of almost like transitioning from smoking into using the replacement products. So managing your stress with B vitamins, I'd be using magnesium as well. Super useful at keeping you calm and keeping your muscles relaxed as well. I would also encourage you to call the Quit line, get some professional help. It's really awesome to have somebody to champion your success and to walk you through this time until you get stable and using the NRT or any sort of replacement therapy that you're doing. It's also a really good idea to change your routine. So quite a lot of smokers have a familiar routine. For instance, break time, they have a coffee and a cigarette, or they go out and in a social setting drink a cigarette. So it's a really good idea while you're transitioning through this period to look at changing your routine, differing it from what you were doing before when you were smoking. Certainly, I want to reiterate also that exercise certainly helps, and also changing your diet helps big time. So I would be encouraging you, as I always recommend, to avoid the carbs and the sugars for the first month if you can, and that'll just help your body adjust to the change that you're putting it through and help you heal a lot better. So hopefully that answered your question, and there are some tips there on what you can expect and how to manage that process while you quit smoking. So that's all the questions for today. Really appreciate everybody for tuning in. As I mentioned, if you have a question, please make sure that you put that in the comments below and I will answer them next week. Always appreciate it if you can like and share this video. It just helps spread the word, gets what we're doing out into the community. And we always appreciate an honest review on Facebook as well. That always just helps spread the word around as well. And lastly, I want to just thank the team that helps me put this together. So this is not a solo effort, this live Q&A show. And I neglected to thank people that helped me do this. So the first thing I want to do is thank everyone, our pharmacists, Rusal and Jury, for helping come up with the answers, and to some of these questions as well. We all work together here. I want to thank Anna and Julius for doing some post-production, Jack and Francis for helping setting up the lighting, and Catherine today for the lighting, the pharmacy assistants in the store, Jenny, Lauren, and all that help us put this show together every week. Great. All done, guys. Thank you, and I look forward to hanging out with you all next Thursday. Thank you.